The morning sky was still half asleep when the first tremor of hooves shivered through the earth. Smoke drifted lazily across the Roman village, hiding the first rays of sunlight behind a gray veil. But behind that haze, behind the whisper of wind, came something darker. The Mongol cavalry. They burst from the eastern treeline like a storm of iron and thunder. Horses roared across the dirt, their hooves tearing the ground, the rhythm of death galloping straight toward the village. Marcus, barefoot, 12, innocent, stood by the doorway of his home, blinking at the rising dust. His father, a broad Roman blacksmith, stepped forward. The moment he saw the black banners, he understood. "Marcus! Inside!" his mother cried. But before Marcus could move, his father grabbed him, strong hands trembling with a fear the boy had never seen. "Go to the storeroom. Now. Go!" Marcus stumbled backward as his father shoved him toward the small wooden room. And then, a scream tore through the sky. A single arrow hissed like a serpent. Time slowed. Marcus watched his father twist, one final instinctive move. The arrow pierced his chest. Marcus froze, breath trapped in his throat. His father staggered, reached out, and collapsed into the boy's arms. Blood poured down his tunic like a crimson river. He removed a golden ring from his own finger, and pressed it onto Marcus's shaking hand. "Keep it, remember us." "Father, no! I'm not leaving." His father's voice cracked, barely a whisper. "Run, my soldier, and one day, come back." His body went still. Marcus screamed, but the roar of battle swallowed his voice. Then he saw her. His mother, running toward him with his 3-year-old sister in her arms. "Marcus, come!" But a volley of arrows rained down. One struck his mother's chest. Another tore through her shoulder. A third pierced the small body of his sister. Marcus watched as they fell, slow, heartbreaking, inevitable. His mother's eyes found his. Her voice, faint and broken. "Run! Marcus, grow up, avenge her!" She collapsed over the tiny body, her arms wrapped tight around her child in death. Marcus's world fell apart. He ran, sobbing, stumbling, through fire, smoke, and collapsing roofs. Past bodies, burning carts, screaming villagers. At the edge of the marketplace were large trading drums, massive wooden barrels. Marcus crawled inside one. Shut the lid. Held his breath. Outside, Mongol soldiers tore through the village. One kicked the drum, heard nothing, and tossed it onto a wagon. Marcus's world turned to darkness. Day became night. Night bled into day. By the second day he starved. By the third, he could barely breathe. By the fourth, he fainted. When the wagon stopped, a soldier heard a muffled thump. He stabbed the drum, splitting the lid. Marcus fell out, unconscious. "A child?" one soldier muttered. "A Roman child?" They gave him water. He couldn't speak, his throat burned raw. They thought he was mute. "Gongi," they laughed. "The mute boy." They placed him on a horse and rode toward the Mongol camp. For days after losing everything, Marcus entered a new world. The Khan's black tent rose like a mountain. Beside him stood a girl, Serenia. Their eyes met. She whispered something to her father. The Khan exhaled heavily. "Do not kill him! Not in front of my daughter!" He laid a hand on the boy's head. "This child is no prisoner. He is a test." Fade to black. Night fell over the Mongol camp like a heavy blanket, cold, bitter, and filled with the echoes of foreign tongues. Fires flickered between rows of horses. Warriors laughed loudly, sharpening arrows and boasting about battles Marcus could not understand. Marcus sat alone beside the supply barrels, arms wrapped around his knees. The ground was freezing. His stomach hollow. His throat raw. He listened to the crackle of meat roasting over open flames. The scent tortured him. His body begged for food he didn't dare ask for. A soldier noticed the boy staring. "Hungry, mute boy?" He tossed a scrap of meat into the dirt. Marcus didn't move. The soldier barked. "Eat." Marcus swallowed hard. Images of his parents flashed through his mind, the warm meals they shared. But hunger is a merciless commander. He lifted the scrap with trembling hands, and ate the ash-covered piece. The soldier laughed. That's better. But Marcus tasted only death and dirt. A cold wind wrapped around him like a ghost. His eyes stung with unshed tears. Then, he felt someone watching. He looked up. Serenia stood a few steps away, holding a wooden bowl. Steam curled from it. Without a word, she knelt and placed it before him. Warm porridge. Life. Marcus tried to speak, to say thank you, but only a broken gasp escaped. Serenia smiled gently and whispered, Ale. Safe. She walked away. Marcus ate slowly, tears falling into the bowl. Later, he curled up beside the barrels. Sleep came, but nightmares came faster. His father's fall. His mother's last breath. His sister's limp hand. He woke with silent screams. Dawn arrived with sharp horns and hurried footsteps. A soldier grabbed him. Up, mute boy. Work. Marcus was handed firewood, water buckets, saddles to carry. Boys his age pointed at him, mocking. Orki, the orphan. Gongi, the mute. He lowered his head. But when a senior soldier shouted, the Khan spared him. Respect that. The boys went silent. Power flowed from one name alone, the Khan. At midday, Marcus struggled with a heavy water bucket near the Khan's tent. Serenia appeared again. Here, let me help. Marcus shook his head, trying to lift it, but his knees buckled. Water spilled everywhere. Serenia caught his arm to steady him. You don't have to speak, she whispered. I can hear you without words. Marcus's heart thudded hard. But before anything more could be said, a terrified horn blared through the camp. Riders approached from the cliffs, wounded, chaotic, whispering death. One collapsed near them, covered in blood. With his dying breath, he pointed at Marcus. They were searching for the boy. He died. Marcus's skin froze. Why him? Fade. Dust still rose from the cliffs as the camp erupted in panic. Warriors rushed to arms. Horses screamed. The Khan strode through the chaos like a living storm. He grabbed Marcus's arm. You! Come! Marcus stumbled after him into the black tent. Inside, the fire burned low. Weapons hung like silent threats around them. The Khan pointed north. Danger! He pointed at Marcus. Roman! He pointed outside. Enemies! The meaning was clear. Whoever was coming wanted Marcus alive. The Khan paced, then stopped. He took Marcus by the shoulders. Show me why they want you. Marcus's breath trembled. A chest was brought forward, containing a small bow, a blunt dagger, arm guards, and a horseman's whistle. The Khan told him. Choose. Marcus couldn't. So the Khan placed the dagger in his hand. Marcus looked at the blade, and saw his father die again. His mother. His sister. The dagger fell to the floor. Serenia gasped. But the Khan only nodded, as if he understood. He lifted the dagger, and gently placed it back in Marcus's hand. Pain. He touched Marcus's chest. Fire. He touched Marcus's forehead. Strength. He guided Marcus's hand forward. A spark lit in the boy's eyes. Run, my soldier, and one day come back. Marcus lifted his head, for the first time with intent. Then, a thunderous war horn. 3 blasts, immediate attack. The Khan rushed out. Serenia grabbed Marcus's hand and pulled him after her. Up the ridge, figures appeared. Riders. Dark. Silent. Predatory. Not Mongols. Not Romans. Something else. And every rider's eyes were locked on Marcus. One shouted, Give us the boy, and Mongol blood will not spill tonight. Marcus felt ice tear through his veins. The Khan snarled back. He is under my protection. If you want him, you face the horde. The valley shook with war cries. Serenia pulled Marcus behind her. Stay with me. The boy who had lost everything, who had no voice, who was thrown away in a drum, was now the spark of a war. The screen darkens. The sound fades into deep tension. Fade out.